जय श्री माता जी। श्री माता जी के श्री चरणों पर नतमस्तक होकर प्रणाम करेंगे और वंदन करेंगे। श्री महामंत्र एवं श्री गणेश। अब हम संतुलन करेंगे। बाएं हाथ श्री माता जी की ओर, दाहिना हाथ धरती पर। पूर्ण हृदय से प्रार्थना करेंगे। श्री माता जी, कृपा करके हमारे पीड़ा नाड़ी की सभी बाधाएं एवं सभी अशुद्ध इच्छाएं धरती तत्वों में खींच दी। कृपा करके हमारे पिंडा नाड़ी में जो भी बाधाएं हैं, जो भी अनुचित विचार है, उन्हें आप आकाश तक में खींचिए। दोनों हाथ से माता जी के चित्त सहस्त्रार पर माता जी से प्रार्थना करेंगे कि माता जी कृपा करके हमें निर्विचार स्थिति प्रदान। अब हम श्री माता जी की अमृत वाणी सुनेंगे। के पश्चात उस समय ध्यान में रहें।
It is a great day when Christ came on this earth. And you know about how he was specially created to come down as a human being, to work out the salvation of the people. It is said that he came to India in Kashmir and he met there the king, Shalimahana. It's all in Sanskrit. I've read that the conversation took place between Christ and King Shalimahana, who was a great devotee of the mother. And he asked him, "What is your name?" In Sanskrit it's already. So he said, "I come from a country where people believe in filth. And I think this is my own country." So Shalimahana said, "You are such a great person who has come on this earth. So you should go back to those countries to save them and to tell them about the pure principle of life." In Sanskrit it was written Nirmala Tattvam. And Christ went back, and after 3.5 years only, he was crucified. These were special days. I call them the days of tapasya. Same time Buddha and Mahavira were born. At the same level of the Virata's forehead. As you know that according to Vedas, there are 7 awarenesses we can go through, or the subtle qualities we have within ourselves. The first one was the Bhu. Bhu is Ganesha was created. Second is Bhurva, meaning Antariksha, means all that is created around us. The third one is Swaha at Nabhi Chakra. Swaha is the one where you consume everything. It's, in modern times you see, people go on consuming everything. All kinds of books they will read. They'll go to all kinds of things, and if you tell them, "Why do you do it? What's wrong? Why do you dress up like this? What's wrong?" This just consumption of everything goes on. But then at that time also there is another great thing within us, is called as Swadha, where we sustain the dharma within us, Swadha, dharma of everything. See, those people who say there should be no blind faith and this and that, it's not blind, but it's an inner urge. Why we love our parents? Because there's a dharma within us. Why do we believe in our country? Because there's a dharma within us. All these dharmas are there. Why a wife loves her husband? Because there is dharma. Why the husband loves the wife? Because there is dharma. When this dharma is within you, we not call it religion because it can mean something else. This one is sustained, dharayati. Once it is sustained within ourselves, it becomes Svadha. That's our capacity, that's our quality, we can call it a innate understanding. Some of them are even in the animals, like attachment to parents, attachment to their masters. Then comes the higher awareness, where your mana, now it's not mind, there's very confusion, there's a big confusion of mind. You see, English language is really quite confusing. Mana means by which we have emotions. Now recently I read that they are now talking about not only of IQ but EQ, means emotional coefficients. That means a person who has only intelligence is not all right. He must also have the balance of emotions. They are coming to it now. But first they only used to praise people who have IQ. That's not the situation. So now it is different, perhaps they are realizing that through intelligence how people have created chaos, violence, all kinds of destruction on this earth. So now they are talking about a higher capacity within us called as EQ, which capacity is emotional. This emotional capacity comes to you as the inner urge, as the inner capability, which you cannot avoid. A person may be anything in life, but if he has no love, if he hasn't got any emotional feelings, then he is not complete. Now these emotional things also could be very limited, no doubt. They could be something that get attached to somebody or something can happen. As also the IQ, where we get attached to some idea, like Hitler had some idea. And he believed that it was the truth and he has to do it. So when you get attached to one idea like that, you can just do things which are not at all helpful, supportive or nourishing to reality. All these things have happened. Wars, destruction. Also, as you see nowadays, the people are trying to secretly destroy others. All these are coming as the anti-feeling, where the mana has developed a domination of the intelligence, where emotions are dominated by intelligence and rationality. So there is another awareness within us, another capability within us, another urge within us innately built is the jana. Jana means the people, the communication. You cannot live alone. You see a man who goes to jail. He's quite happy, he's quite comfortable, he doesn't have to do any work. Everything is done for him. If he has a good class, he lives very well, much better than he would live outside. But the only thing is he cannot meet other people. He cannot communicate. And when this capacity of communication, which is within us, which is a part and parcel of human existence, is taken away, a person in the jail feels absolutely frustrated. and unhappy. He doesn't mind laboring, doing all kinds of menial work, as long as he is not in the jail, cut out of the communications with others. So this communication is also an inner urge within us. In that also people sometimes go too far and neglect other dharmas. They are more bothered about communication than about other dharmas, which are very important. So there is no balance in a person. Then comes the sixth awareness within us, which is a very interesting thing. One was where we take to conditionings. Say, if I am an Indian, then I am very proud of Indians. I can never see anything wrong with them. Or I may see everything wrong with them. It can be both ways. How you have been conditioned is the point. And this conditioning comes to us through our sixth center of Agya. And another thing that we develop when somebody tries to condition us or to control us, we try to get out of it, or sometimes we try to dominate. This dominating capacity is also within us, innately built. Both things are innately built within us, that we go on getting ourselves conditioned. For example, I would say that in very stupid, silly manner, people get conditioned. It is impossible to get them out of it. It always comes out of self-centeredness, that a person has no value for understanding. Like now somebody comes to your house, he is a vegetarian. All right, now stays with you. So I am a vegetarian. You must get new utensils to cook the food, because I can't have food in the utensils where the meat is cooked. All right. Then you must get your servant in a proper manner, so send him to some place where you can get the well water. The servant must be absolutely drenched. This is typical Indian old style. And should go and draw the water from the well and bring it for drinking and cooking. While the servant dies of pneumonia, doesn't matter. All such stupid conditionings we have. But it's not only that in the East you find all this conditioning, in the West is even worse. For example, they have clubbing. Now there are clubs where people wear particular type of clothes. It's a club. Now if they wear something else, then everybody will laugh at it. Or how to use the spoon and fork is very important in the West. How they use spoon and fork, especially English, have this nonsensical conditioning. If somebody uses the fork and spoon in a wrong way, then finished. He is nowhere. He is not sophisticated. The ideas of sophistication and all that comes through conditioning of ages. Because maybe they were primitive to begin with. They had no clothes, proper clothes to wear. Might be they were covering themselves with some leaves or something. I mean, only hundreds of years back. So now they have jumped to the other side, very particular about their dress, very particular about folk and spirit. And they just can't bear something that is different. I don't like that, it's very common there. I don't like. No. They came to India. We don't like what we don't like. We don't like the way Indians dress up. All right? You dress up the way you like. Let Indians dress up like they like. Now, why do you think that your dress in England will suit here in India, which is such a hot country? But no. This is how we are. It's quite funny the way they have. And this conditioning goes on into such a deep manner that nobody sees the stupidity behind it. For example, if the Queen has invited you, you must wear a tailcoat. And now it's very expensive to have a tailcoat. Now, they have to go to a particular shop to borrow it. Sometimes they are loose and sometimes they are tight. I have seen people coming to these parties, Queen's parties. I could never recognize them because somebody looked like Charlie Chaplin, or somebody looked like Laurel, or somebody like Hardy. I could make out who are these people. Then I was told that's such and such ambassador. Oh my God, I know him very well. What has happened to him? They cannot walk straight. Their gait changes because of the clothes which are so tight sometimes and sometimes so loose. But you have to wear. All these formal ideas come to us as a kind of a part and parcel of you because you accept all these conditionings. So the other side, it goes to that we'll abandon all this. We don't want all this. We're anti-culture. So I met one gentleman who was wearing a pant which had lots of holes in it. Imagine in the cold of London to wear a pant like that. So I said, why do you want to wear a pant which has holes? He said, this is a holy pant. Holy? My goodness, it will give you varicose veins. It's horrible. What's wrong? We are anti-culture people, so we are taking now to holy pants. I mean, such stupid people are not only who are uneducated, but very well educated people, highly placed people, are so conditioned. And this conditioning has caused so much damage to human beings. For example, to accept Freud had become just a complete religion in the West. Freud became Christ at that level, though he was a Jew. And he dominated the Western culture so much that I just couldn't understand the impact of this stupid man who would have been thrown in the sea if he had come to India. But the conditioning part is everything is written is law. And they accepted this man so much that the culture of the West became absolutely self-destructive throughout. No respect, no morality. Nothing was lofty. All value system shattered. Because they accepted this kind of nonsense because it was written. Even today, I hear, in such and such book such is written, in that book such and such thing is written. This is terrible condition. For example, it's written in the Bible that Jews crucified Christ. Nonsense. Just use your brains. How can Jews crucify Christ? They were in the multitude. In any country, have you heard that a person can be crucified with the general opinion of the people? It's the government, the Roman government did that. But to put the blame on the Jews was a very good idea of a very cunning man called Mr. Paul. And people accepted that because it suited them to hate the Jews. Then the Jews started creating people like Freud. So all such conditionings also have reactions. And these conditionings then build up. And once they build up, their reactions also build up. And you have a country full of all kinds of chaos, fear, violence, and destruction. The conditioning is more also with the idea of possession. This is my land, this position is mine, that is this, that. Like this it goes up to a point where people who believed in the formless God also fight for the land. Why should they? They believe in the formless God, so why should they fight for the land? But they'll go on fighting for the land. And this fighting for the land can go to any extent of very cruel things that whole country can work out. Conditionings are of every kind, if you see, are blinding your eyes. For example, they believe in Quran. Simple thing is Quran was never written by Muhammad Sahib. He never knew how to read and write. So, it's a fact. For 40 years it was not written. There was a fellow called Mumbai or something like that who killed Hazrat Ali, his sons. The second Khalifa. The first one died very early. Then he killed the third one also. Then he killed the fourth one, just to become himself the Khalifa. And the liver of this fourth Khalifa was eaten by the mother of this horrible fellow who hated women. So he puts it down in the Quran, all the things against women. And people accept it because it's in the Quran. Somebody has made fun of Quran and written what's wrong and so stupidities and all that. So I asked him, what is the use of writing this book? What is the use? He said, never thought of the use. Then why did you write? It must have some use. It's a useless book. I said, it's only useful that by reading this, all the people who are Muslims who are not Muslims will laugh at Islam, and those who are Muslims will say, wow, well, this is our book. Whatever it says, we believe in it. We are conditioned like that. So you don't solve the problem. So he said, then what should I do? I said, you write another book. Saying this all stupidity I've written of Quran because I know it was not written by Muhammad Sahib. Don't write anything Muhammad Sahib against him. He is the one who is the incarnation of Dattatreya. It's a fact. So you write that he never wrote it, so all these people have done all these things. This conditioning can be removed if you know what sort of life Christ led. Very important.
जय श्री माता जी। थैंक यू श्री माता जी फॉर योर लव एंड ब्लेसिंग। श्री माता जी के श्री चरणों पर नतमस्तक होकर प्रणाम करेंगे और बंधन लेंगे।